Good morning, I'm Kevin O'Hara for Habits Unplugged. I've been coaching people to stop drinking alcohol for over a decade, and in this video I'm going to give you 5 big mistakes to avoid when tapering off alcohol. Okay, so big mistake number 1 is setting vague goals. Drinking less, it's not a goal, it's just a wish, right? Cutting back isn't a goal, it's just a wish. If your tapering plan is as loose as your resolve, then you're going to fail. So you need to get specific. You need to know how much you're cutting back and when you're going to cut back, exactly how much you're going to cut back and exactly when you're going to cut back. This is your time and your energy that you're putting into this. So what's the point in wasting it if you're not going to do the job? It's time and energy with the purpose of making sure that on day 1, once you get to that stage where you're crossing over that line and you're stopping drinking alcohol, you've already reduced your alcohol consumption by so much that you hardly feel the discomfort of not drinking anymore. If you're going to leave the door open to any of this vagueness, to interpretation, or it depends on how you feel on the day, how much you're going to cut back on, then there's no point in doing that. Look, we have a tapering system as part of our preparation module. It's going to help you to decide just how much to cut back and when to cut back. It all helps to make that progress and that process much easier in the long run. So get the link below. All you have to do is leave your name and your email address. All right. Big mistake number 2 is forgetting about the end goal. Tapering isn't about the final destination, right? It's just the bridge that's going to make it a ton easier for you to quit alcohol for good, right? To get to that day 1, as I said before, once that rolls around, you're just going to find it a lot easier. Up here in your head. The mind is the most thing, the mind is the biggest tool. 5% of this journey is what happens, and 95% is how you respond. And how you respond to things depends a lot on the processes that you put in place while you're preparing for the whole thing. So don't let yourself get stuck halfway thinking that tapering is the only solution, or it is a solution in itself. We're not trying to moderate here. Our end goal is to move away from the chains, to remove the straitjacket for good, and keep reminding yourself why you're doing this: for a better life, for improved health, for stronger relationships. So the goal should always be moving towards that total freedom, towards those outcomes that you want in your life. All right. Big mistake number 3 is relying on willpower alone. Now, I'm not for 1 second minimizing the power of willpower. Once you get up and running in this journey, the power of your will is going to stand up to almost any obstacle that comes in your way. I mean, it is a skill, right? It's something that you grow as part of the process. It's something that you grow as you make progress in this journey. Just think about this like the battery that's in your phone. Right? You wake up in the morning, your phone has been charging overnight and it's fully charged. And during the day, you're dealing with all this other crap in your life, all these things that are happening in your life. And slowly but surely, that battery is going to drain. And most people, they tend to drink towards the evening. And that's when your internal battery, the willpower battery, if you like, is a lot more drained, right? There's a lot less energy available for you to use in things like self-control. So there's things that can help you, like solid routines, people around you, having people around you that are willing to help you, putting physical barriers in front of yourself, like having no alcohol at home. But, willpower is a tool. And because your cravings are going to come when you're feeling the most drained towards the evening, then willpower really should be your last line of defense. And this is something that we work on a lot within the preparation stage, to get you to that stage where you've put all these things in place. So by the time you're not drinking alcohol anymore, you've got a lot of stuff, a lot of skills, inbuilt skills, in only a short space of time, right, to help you with, so that you're not relying on the willpower. Big mistake number 4 is keeping emergency stashes within your house, right? Call them what you want. These are just in case hidden bottles that are going to be a massive sabotage in your journey, a self-sabotage in your journey. So as I said before, if you want to keep the alcohol out of your mouth, keep it out of your house. There's a conflict going on between the parts of you that want to change and those parts of you that just want to keep doing the same things. And it's a natural part. If you've been doing something for a long time, there are plenty of plenty of things that going on inside your mind, plenty of wiring and just behaviors and ways of thinking and ways of doing things that are all conspiring against you, right? So you've got to make this as easy as you can on yourself, right? Lots of this stuff is just trying its best to get you to go back to the old habit, because the old habit requires less work. And this is all happening in your subconscious mind. So think about what it's saying to that subconscious part of your mind, right? By keeping alcohol around and by keeping alcohol there just in case. Your subconscious is admitting defeat even before you've got started, right? And you've got to be strong in this. You've got to feed that part of your subconscious that wants to succeed. You know, if you're serious about tapering, get rid of any and all of this, these kind of safety nets. You know, get rid of the alcohol, get rid of all the alcohol paraphernalia. The only backup plan that you need is to be 100% committed to this change and to this journey, right? And big mistake number 5 is not anticipating the triggers that are going to be there. You know, thinking that you can taper without at least some kind of a plan for dealing with the triggers that are going to come in your way. It's like walking into a lion's den and hoping that the lion is not going to come over and maul you. You know, you've been drinking for a long time. You've got the habit for a long time. You've been living with the habit for a long time. So you know fine well that your weaknesses are in certain areas of your life. You know what the triggers are. You know what causes you stress. You know what causes you anxiety. You know what causes you to have that feeling of, I want to have a drink. You know, there are certain people in your life that are just going to make you, no matter what you are. I'm not talking about this as just that person when I'm with them, they make me want to drink. But mates, you know, like as soon as I was with certain of my mates, that was it. We were in the pub. Just a fact. And that was the way it was. So I had to avoid those people. Now, I was lucky enough that I moved to Spain the year before. So a lot of my old mates were back in Ireland. But, you know, a lot of places that are going to do the same thing for you. And, you know, every drinker has these things. So every drinker knows these things. So it's like a question of sitting down, figuring out these things, sitting down and having a plan. So take some time to think a strategy for each one of these things before you get knee deep in the temptation. You know, don't get caught off guard. You have to plan ahead. If you don't plan ahead, you're planning to fail. Avoiding these mistakes is going to really ensure that your tapering is really intentional, that it's controlled, and that it leads you closer to quitting alcohol for good, right? Like I said, we've got a lot of this stuff within that preparation program. We've got a tapering guide that will help you to set out how much you're going to taper and when you're going to taper, right? To reduce it so that when you get to day 1, you're in a really good position in the sense of you've already started to deal with the habit before you've stopped the drinking, right? And it'll help you to figure out these things about your triggers and your friends, your environment, all this kind of stuff. So it's absolutely free. Don't forget, in the link down below. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.